Think for a moment about your morning coffee, the fuel prices you paid this week, or even the news headlines scrolling on your phone. What if I told you that these seemingly distant conflicts, thousands of miles away in places like Ukraine, Middle East, and Sudan, are directly impacting all these events that's happening in front of your eyes? We live in an era where the shockwaves of war don't stop at borders. They ripple across continents, disrupting economies, fueling humanitarian crises, and reshaping the very fabric of our interconnected world. This isn't just about the battlefield updates. This is about understanding the profound and often unseen ways that global conflicts are shaking your world. Stay with us as we delve beyond the front lines and uncover the intricate web connecting these crises. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Understanding Global. My name is Abhinav Chaudhary. In today's increasingly volatile world, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant stream of news about conflicts erupting in various corners of the globe. While it's crucial to acknowledge the human cost and the immediate tragedies of these situations, it's equally important to step back and analyze the bigger picture. We need to understand how these seemingly desperate conflicts, from the ongoing war in Ukraine to the devastating situation in Gaza and the often overlooked crisis in Sudan, are not isolated incidents. They are interconnected. They are interconnected pieces of a complex global puzzle, each exerting pressure and creating ripple effects that extend far beyond their geographical boundaries. In this video, we will move beyond the daily updates and delve into the systematic impacts of these conflicts, exploring how they are reshaping European security, destabilizing regions, and impacting the global economy as well. Let's begin with the ongoing war in Ukraine, a conflict that has fundamentally altered the security architecture of Europe and sent shockwaves throughout the global economy. Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022 marked a turning point, shattering decades of relative peace on the European continent. Beyond the tragic loss of life and the immense destruction within the Ukraine, the war has triggered a significant reassessment of defense policies throughout Europe. Nations that had previously scaled back military spending are now reinvesting in their armed forces, like Germany, France, and long-standing neutrality policies are again being reconsidered. Economically, the impact has profound. Ukraine and Russia are major global suppliers of essential commodities. The disruption of agricultural production and exports from the Black Sea region has led to significant increases in food prices. Also, it increased food insecurity in vulnerable nations that were already grappling with poverty and climate change. Similarly, the war has had a dramatic impact on global energy markets as well. Europe's resilience on Russian oil and gas led to an energy crisis as suppliers were disrupted, forcing countries to scramble for alternative sources and accelerating the transition towards renewable energy. Furthermore, the sanctions imposed on Russia by many Western nations have further complicated global trade and financial flows, contributing to inflationary pressures worldwide. The long-term economic consequences of this war are still unfolding, but it's clear that it has already reshaped the global supply chain and altered the landscape of international trade. Moving to the Middle East, the ongoing situation in Gaza remains a deeply concerning humanitarian crisis with the potential to ignite wider regional conflict as well. Following the latest escalations, the humanitarian situation within Gaza has reached catastrophic levels, with widespread shortages of food supplies, water, and medical supplies as well. The scale of displacement and the sheer number of casualties are deeply troubling, and international organizations are struggling to provide adequate aid amidst the ongoing hostilities. Beyond the immediate human tragedy, the situation in Gaza is exacerbating already high tensions across the Middle East. The conflict has reignited debates about the long-standing political issues and risks, drawing in other regional actors as well. The involvement of various proxy groups and the complex web of alliances in the region mean that any further escalation could have far-reaching consequences, potentially destabilizing neighboring countries and impacting the global energy supplies, particularly given the region's crucial role in oil and gas production. Disruptions to the shipping lanes in the Red Sea, for instance, have already demonstrated how regional instability can have tangible effects on global trade. increasing costs and causing delays in the movement of goods. Often overshadowed by the other conflicts, the ongoing civil war in Sudan represents a devastating humanitarian crisis with significant regional destabilizing effects. The conflict, which erupted in April of the previous year, has resulted in the death of thousands and the displacement of millions of people, both within Sudan and into neighboring countries. The scale of displacement makes it one of the largest humanitarian crises in the world. It is putting immense strain on the resources of already fragile nations like Chad, South Sudan, and Ethiopia. The conflict in Sudan is not just a domestic affair, it has significant regional implications as well. The flow of refugees can strain the resources of host communities and potentially create new social and economic tensions. Furthermore, the instability within Sudan can create a security vacuum, potentially allowing extremist groups to flourish and further destabilize the wider region. The conflict also disrupts vital trade routes and can impact food security across East Africa. While international attention may be focused elsewhere, the crisis in Sudan serves as a stark reminder of how internal conflicts can have significant cross-border consequences as well, and it can contribute to a broader climate of instability in the region. Now, let's connect the dots and explore the intricate ways in which these seemingly separate conflicts are actually linked to one another. One of the most significant connections is through the global economy. As we have seen, the war in Ukraine has impacted food and energy prices worldwide. Similarly, instability in the Middle East, particularly around the key shipping routes like the Suez Canal and the Strait of Hormuz, can disrupt the flow of goods and energy, leading to increased transportation costs and potentially fueling inflation across the globe. These economic shockwaves don't respect borders and can impact everything from the cost of your groceries to the price of fuel at the pump, regardless of where the conflict originates. Furthermore, these conflicts can strain international resources and attention. The immense humanitarian needs arising from Ukraine, Gaza, and Sudan require significant financial and logistical support from the international community. However, the sheer scale of these crises can lead to donor fatigue and a competition for resources, meaning that one crisis might draw attention and aid away from another equally pressing situation. There are also geopolitical linkages. Major global powers have vested interests and alliances in each of these regions. The involvement of these powers, often on opposing sides, can accelerate tensions and complicate efforts towards peaceful resolution. For instance, the dynamics between the major powers in the context of the Ukraine war can influence their approach to conflicts in the Middle East or Africa. The proliferation of the weapons and the flow of foreign fighters across conflict zones also highlight the interconnected nature of global security challenges. Understanding the interconnectedness of these global conflicts is crucial for navigating the complexities of our modern world. These are not isolated fires that can be contained independently. They are a part of a larger, more intricate web of geopolitical, economic, and humanitarian challenges. As global citizens, it's important to look beyond the immediate headlines and recognize the systematic impacts of these crises. By understanding these linkages, we can better advocate for comprehensive and coordinate solutions that address the root causes of conflict and mitigate their far-reaching consequences as well. The ripple effects of these ongoing conflicts are a stark reminder of our shared vulnerability and the interconnectedness of our world. What happens on one side of the globe can have tangible consequences for communities thousands of miles away. By staying informed, engaging in thoughtful discussions, and supporting efforts towards peace and humanitarian aid, we can play a part in mitigating the negative towards a more stable and prosperous future, which is for all, obviously. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more in-depth analysis of global events, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Bye.